I don't normally watch Theo Vonn podcasts. However, I was compelled to watch one last night because there was a neuroscientist on there that was discussing different things like traumas and bonding in relationships and just some really, really interesting things. Have you guys ever heard of a freaking prairie vole? Not a prairie dog, a prairie vole. VOLE. So there's actually two different kinds of voles. There's the prairie voles. They're the little guys that live in the prairie. These cute little guys right here. And then they are the marsh voles that live out in the marsh, okay? But the prairie voles form monogamous relationships, also known as pair bonding. Prairie voles, they literally affiliate, mate, and raise their kids exclusively with each other. Literally no other voles. And like the male voles will display aggression towards any like outside threat or other male vole that would come around. I don't know if you know, but like only 3% of mammals exhibit this type of behavior. The marsh voles are promiscuous. They do not pair bond. They are not aggressive. They literally just run around mating with whatever they can get their furry little fingers on. So neuroscientists were intrigued. They wanted to know what the difference was between the moles in the prairie and then the moles that were in the marsh. So they started looking at different brain mechanisms, and then they narrowed in on two molecules, oxytocin and vasopressin. So experts from the National Institute of Mental Health decided to do a little study. What they did was the male prairie voles were injected with an antagonist, okay? And if you don't know what that is, it is a chemical that binds to the receptor but doesn't activate it. And this was done to either the receptor of oxytocin or vasopressin. What they found was that by blocking the prairie vole's oxytocin receptors with the antagonist, it had no effect in mating-induced aggression or partner preference over like other mates or potential mates. However, male prairie voles who were injected with the vasopressin antagonist failed to show aggression to defend their females, and they did not spend as much time with their original mate as they did like other ones, meaning they no longer pair bonded. When researchers injected the prairie voles with this antagonist, the opposite happened. Those effects were reversed. They then became aggressive towards other male prairie voles, and they preferred to spend their time with their partners than other little female prairie voles running around. Kind of like he fell in love with her all over again. This shows how they did it. So the study implicated that vasopressin was the neuropeptide that facilitates the social cues that act for aggression and pair bonding in these male mates. Oxytocin promotes trust and bonding between couples in committed monogamous relationships. Together, oxytocin and vasopressin are part of the molecular neuromechanisms that allow for the social cues necessary for individual recognition and behavior, otherwise what we know as love, being in love. Because oxytocin and vasopressin act in the same area of the brain as dopamine, and this might be why they go on to say the whole phrase that love is addicting, because it's in the reward center. Duh, all that lights up. So maybe love really is an addiction when you're in a committed bonding relationship. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool to learn about. I'm interested in all of it. So when it was like broke down and they used these cute little furry little mouse looking things, I don't know, just wanted to share.